suppose because of the silence of Madiba for so long, he existed, but we didn't know who he was, and it was one of those things that you were looking forward to.
Yeah. How
does this man look like? And I think it was one of the best moments this country would always look back at.
Yeah, it certainly will. I mean, this is footage, these are scenes that will live on forever and ever. I mean, I heard somebody saying that in my time, I will never forget him. Well, I can promise you, in my children's time, they'll never forget him. In their children's time, he's just somebody that he's embedded in our hearts, minds and souls.
Yes, of course. But I think of course, we always say this, that for us, we remembering Nelson Mandela and doing the legacy work that he left us is also important. You're talking about your children and your children's children, and it's for them that the work that must be done needs to be done. Because if you think of 25 years ago, you were saying how with you the uncertainty of what's going to happen next, being a white family. And with me sitting there watching the footage of Madiba come out of prison and him addressing South Africans or the world for the first time was the most moving moment. And of course, immediately thereafter, we marched on the streets of my small town of Kuma in Klerksdorp. And I think most townships did that. But with the challenges that we have today, we have to say 25 years ago, we thought we were building a new country. Are we there yet?
Yeah. Yeah, that's something we need to keep we need to constantly keep that and strive to go forward, not live looking backwards, because that perhaps is one of our downfalls.
I think and being forward looking, of course, does not mean that you forget that past, because it's when we forget that we then forget the sacrifices that people like Nelson Mandela, people like Robert Sobukwe, people like that the Sisulu family made for us to be here. And it's when we forget that we then also forget our responsibility. That's why some of the responsibility that we carry most is that of reconciliation, the issue of equality, dealing with equality, but also non-racialism. Hence, we're convening dialogues on non-racialism, the issue of racism, confronting racism in our country. So we're saying 25 years ago, we said we'll build a non-racial society. Are we there yet? And Madiba says that the one question that should bother each one of us when we wake up in the morning is, am I doing enough to help build a country of my dreams? And I think that's the thing that should bother us.
I think we should all print that little sticker out and put it on our mirrors and look at it every day and say, are you doing enough? Because that's the big question. I want to talk to you the whole morning, but today, 16:22, 4 o'clock, 22 minutes past 4, that was the day that was the time of the day on this day, 25 years ago, that he took his first steps as a free man. You're going to be commemorating that as the foundation?
We're marking this moment with the SACC and the Constitutional Court here in Johannesburg. So the event starts at 3:30 with a few speeches, and then and all the speeches would have Archbishop Thabo Makgoba, who will also remind us of the country that we want to be, the country that we promised to be 25 years ago when Madiba said he's a servant of the people. So 1622. We will then have children mark the moment with the Archbishop and the Chief Justice at the Constitutional Court. And we urge South Africans, wherever you are, mark this moment. There are people who will be in the Cape, in Victor Verster, also convened by the SACC and the Foundation. We urge you to join if you can. But from wherever you are, 1622, mark that moment whichever way you can. And it should be embedded in our minds as to what we need to do.